Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Rachel and I am a homeschooling mummy of 4. I've got 3 children with special needs and I am here today taking some time out in nature from trying to navigate my way through all these crazy times, and I know that you are going through similar too. So I just want to say hi. If you're interested in my journey, like and subscribe. If you're not interested, that's fine. See you another time. So today I'm out for a walk. I recommended in my last video as well that you guys all do the same. Get out as much as you can, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy some nature while you can get away from the kids and have a little bit of time. So last time I was talking about my decision as to whether I wanted to get a diagnosis for my son or whether I just wanted to go ahead and just let him be him without any labels. And I know there's been an awful lot of controversy about this. I certainly experienced myself because my children are 18, 16, 11 and 2. So I've kind of met people, I've met this kind of resistance along my way, and a lot of parents with special needs kids have said to me, hey, you know, why did you want to get a diagnosis? What made you get a diagnosis? Because, you know, maybe your child didn't appreciate it, maybe they didn't want to be labelled that way. And I really get that, and it really made me question, why did I do it, and why do I have diagnoses for 2 of my children? It's a really good question, and I think it's going to be individual answers for every single person. You have to think about, what do you want and why is it important to you? For me, my children have several diagnoses, but 2 of them already have a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder, and a third one I think is also on the spectrum, possibly, but hasn't been diagnosed. So my reasons for getting diagnosis was simply the school alerted me. I did not know anything about autism when my children were first diagnosed. The school alerted me to my son having really classic symptoms. So in assemblies he was sitting with his hands over his ears, and he would rock, and he would curl himself into a ball and rock. Well, I just thought that was what my son was like, and I didn't realise he was doing it at school. He certainly didn't tell me. He was very academically capable, so I didn't really have any concerns over his learning. But socially he was struggling, and the school called me to a meeting and suggested that I went and get him assessed, and that did happen, and it was fairly straightforward for him. Then I had to decide whether or not I wanted to tell him, and I felt really compelled to explain to him what all of the testing had been about, and to explain to him so that he could do his own research, because he is a researcher, he likes to know what's going on, and I felt that he should have the chance to go and find out what he'd been diagnosed with and how it was going to affect his life. So I felt like, I don't necessarily want to use the word empowered, but I felt like it gave him options and choices, and he can choose to ignore his diagnosis if he wants to. However, I also don't like him to use it as an excuse. It's never an excuse. So just because you might have a diagnosis, is what I say to my son, just because you might have a diagnosis doesn't mean you can't do something. It just means that you maybe feel a certain way about it, and you need to maybe get more support in certain areas. So for those reasons, I wanted to then go ahead and get my daughter assessed also, because she struggled a lot more socially and in many ways than my son did. So for those reasons, I chose to get them assessed, and I'm glad that I did. But however, going back to the last video, I don't know whether I will be doing it again with my third, just because of all the hoops you have to jump through, and I'm not really sure what I'm getting at the end of it, because I don't feel, and I'm sorry to anybody who does support children, I'm sure you do a great job supporting children with autism spectrum disorders, but for our family, we did not get a lot of support with our children, certainly with my children. So if you did, that's great. I want to hear about it. If you have had a hard time making this decision, I want to hear about it. Please tell me your stories in the comments. I can't wait to hear how you guys are getting on with all of this, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.